Okay, hello everybody. Thank you for coming to listen and watch this video. This is my first video and this is my first time ever recorded by myself, so bear with me. My name is Cody Kenny and I'm the owner of the now changed Toronto Thunderbirds, hashtag reborn. Um, we decided to move from LA after 2016 for various reasons, mostly being I myself am Canadian. Owner Mark Herrick, former quarterback for the Philadelphia Eagles, turned multi-billionaire, turned owner of newly formed LA Rams, newly formed Toronto Thunderbirds. And the purpose of this video is I'm going to be breaking down my season, breaking down the players I acquired over the season, my schedule, the stats, any highlights of the season, positives, negatives, and then what we're going to be looking to do moving forward. So, looking at offense, starting on the O line, I think it was a pretty abysmal O line. Like, if I had to say one word to describe my O line for this year, I would say meh. Just MEH. Not much changed, except one positive is they changed into the 80s. Before the season started, I believe my O line was quite rated quite low. And now you can see there's 81, an 84, an 81. The holes I have right now was at the center and the right tackle position. I didn't really boost their stats at all in terms of um, pass blocking or run blocking. But the one thing I did purchase is they're all disciplined in the penalty trait. That doesn't mean that they don't do penalties because they do penalties all the fucking time. One position that I'm considering drafting this coming year, I have two firsts, and a second is going to be either a center or a right tackle. I think moving forward, my team really will rely on somewhere on this O line improving drastically. I really need a star mover down here. This is where my bread and butter can be. If you remember my seasons from last year, I highly overpaid one of my players. I forget who it was. His name was like Ridatoni or some pasta name, but he was good. He was high 90s pass block, high 90s rush block, and plays were set up all the time using him. Tight end. This was a really interesting position for the Rams this year. We started with Lance Kendricks the entire year, and if you look at him, he's got decent speed, 81 speed, decent catching, 80. But you know what? That 80 catching should be really rated 50. This guy would drop every fucking ball thrown to him on third and short, wide open. He would be wide open on third and short, and I'd be like, "Oh my god, he's got to catch this. This is for the game." Like if he would have caught a few of these balls throughout the season, the game I could have won two or more games. I guarantee it. I could have beat Matt in week two and Ty in week three if this guy would have just. I don't know if I got my weeks right, but this guy, if he would have caught some of these balls, we would have won some games. He also had a really he's my backup tight end in the playoffs, and he probably led the team in penalties. He's just garbage. This guy, I shouldn't be saying this because I am trying to trade him right now, and I am working a deal with somebody in the league right now, and he is involved. But maybe he'll do better for you. I think with some work, he can step in and be a decent tight end. Uh, doesn't his stats say so? His face says so. He looks kind of like LeBron James. Anyone notice that? This guy is the new guy. He's the new sheriff in town. What's his first name? Tyler Higbee, rookie, going into his first year this following year as a Toronto Thunderbird. 83 catching, so a bit better catching than the former Kendricks. He's a rookie. He's going his first year. He's 6'4". He's got 80 speed. He's got really decent stats. If I would say he's above average compared to some of the other tight ends, but he's not a star tight end that I kind of need in the offensive system that I run. I really look for the tight end in really clutch moments. So this is a position I'm really highly considering drafting with one of my first round draft picks. I have noticed that there are some really high level tight ends out there. So Tyler Higbee, you get the nod moving forward. Kendricks, you are going to be cut, or you will not be on this team anymore. You're not going to be in the Toronto. You're not going to be a Thunderbird. I'll tell you that. You're not being reborn. Moving to the wide receivers, you know, this is where I fell this year. This is they had some really good catches throughout the year, and they showed really awesome moments, but they didn't take off the way that I didn't expect them to take off. But they didn't give me that wow factor whatsoever. I mean, Tavon Austin, he's got high speed. Like, see him, 95 speed. Like, come on. 94 acceleration. It's just that route running, and that he did come down with catch. He was my most clutch catcher out there. He caught some balls and he got hit catching balls, and he still held on to that ball. He will be, I'm assuming, my slot receiver next year. Next season, I'm really looking to bring in the Cody system, and he will move into that slot, and you will see him catching balls down the middle, on outs, in floods. You know, he's going to be everywhere. He's going to be leading the league, not the league, but the Thunderbirds in receptions next season. Fullback, I don't even use this position. The playbook that I use is Chip Kelly's offense, and not once is there a fullback coming out of this. So, Harkey, I'm sorry. You had a really good first half this season. You set up some holes for Gurley, but you are no longer going to be a Thunderbird. I could cut you right now. Can I cut? Yeah, see you later. Free 1.12 million. Oh, thank you, Harkey. You added some value. Okay, moving on. I'll save Goff and Gurley for after the side of the field. Kenny Britt, I applaud you, young man. You were the star receiver of this season. He lined up on the left side of the field. He did streaks, he did comebacks, he did ins, posts, you name it. He has great attributes. Look at this: 87 speed. The route running needs work. 86 catching, 89 acceleration, 90 in traffic, 85 spec catch. So I mean, he's there and he's a complete receiver. The only problem I have with Kenny Britt is he's not going to beat those cornerbacks that I need him to beat. Like in my final game against Nick, the Vikings, it was a girly show, and I couldn't find separation anywhere on the field, either to Tavon or to Kenny Britt. I noticed there were so many one-on-one times where a ball could have been thrown up, but I don't trust his separation whatsoever to make that throw. That could have ended up being a pick. I mean, I did throw 5 picks that game, but I'm not going to blame it on me not throwing the ball. It's because Kenny Britt, you lack that separation speed. Brian Quick, I think Kenny Britt is coming back. Yeah, I think I re-signed him, and if not, I'm going to be working to re-sign him. I think he's still on a contract. I'm not too sure how to find that right now. But anyways, he's wanted back for another season as a Thunderbirds, and if I could lock him up for the next 3 to 4 years, I would. Brian Quick, he's got slow development. He did show some really good moments throughout the season. He was playing my slot receiver. The only issue I have with him as a slot is his speed. I love fast guys running drag routes, running cuts in the middle, just slicing up opposing defenses down the middle for long gains. And I mean, he's a complete receiver. He's got high 80s speed. He's got low catching. I guess that's where his fault is. But he can come down. He can come up with a spectacular catch once in a while. The one thing I noted about him was on flood plays, he was able to get me out of some really clutch third and longs. I love that play on a third and long, and Brian Quick, I look to you, and you came down with it. But based on your slow development, you are probably no longer going to be a Thunderbird moving forward. Thomas, not much to say about you. I didn't see you at all. And Spruce, didn't see you, buddy. Good luck next year. Maybe you'll make the cut. Maybe you won't. These two, Gurley and Goff, is where I created my offense. These guys were it all. Goff, he was down at a 73 with Keenum at the beginning of the season, and over time, we got him to an 80, just based on upgrading his deep accuracy, his medium accuracy, and his short accuracy. I think they were all around. His medium and short were 84, and his deep was high 90s. He's got throw power. He's got decent speed. He's not typically the quarterback that I like to run in my offense, and I did say at the end of the season that he would be on the block. Highly, highly reconsidering this. But if I can move him for a high draft pick or a package deal and get a high draft pick and draft one of those mobile quarterbacks, I would do that. But moving forward, Goff, you played really well in the postseason, and you redeemed yourself, and we look forward to having you back. Todd Gurley. This guy was my offense. I know I posted him at the end of the season, and Matt, I just told you that I'm really reconsidering that. Look at his stats: 92 speed, 92 acceleration, 88 carrying, 90 trucking. I mean, high 90s everything. And just going into the postseason, what I did was I upgraded his catching big time to an 80. I think it was 60 before the postseason. His catch in traffic was 50, and his route running was 50. So 15 points in route running, 15 points in catch and traffic, and 20 in catching. And it really showed against my game against the Cardinals in the wild card. He just took off, and against the Redskins, he was running wheels and just catching balls. And I guess the best highlight in my last game against Nick was these guys were all just shut down terribly. Like, just they were getting nothing. But Gurley was lining up as the fifth wide receiver on the left side and was running streaks, catching streaks. He was catching slants, heavily guarded. I don't know if it was a linebacker on him or a cornerback or a safety, but he was winning that one-on-one matchup every single time. So next season is going to be the same thing. It's going to be get Gurley the ball, and we're going to look to fill this spot right here with either a free agent, a trade, or a draft pick. And I really want to do that draft pick and get a superstar wide receiver here, but it's highly unlikely that I'll find that. I just feel like the draft wasn't that strong in receivers. But, I mean, who knows? Anything can happen in the draft. And Tavon, you're going to move to the 3, Britt to the 2, and then that leaves just these junkers to come in if there's an injury. Or if there's an injury, I'll probably look to the free agency. And then, like I said, I might be getting a new tackle or a center. That's my offense. You all know my offense fairly well. I do stream most of my games, and I like to run the ball out of Gurley a lot. I think Goff is going to improve significantly next year. He is on normal development, so I've been considering just saving his stats until I can get it to quick. and then start boosting him because I feel like he's going to be a quarterback of mine for the next, I don't know, 7 years or whatever it is. But he's going to be a Thunderbird for a long time, unless, of course, I draft that mobile quarterback this season. But I really need a playoff push ASAP, and yeah, it's going to come down to either I'm getting a mobile quarterback or getting that star wide receiver. It's either or. I mean, I got a lot of holes. Like I said, I got to fill a center and a right tackle, and I gotta figure out what's going on with Higby. If he can play at a tight end one position, because he's only year one and he can keep developing, then he's gonna be solid. Defensively, moving on to the defense, we this was our best side of the season. Quinn and Hayes both racked up like 15 and 17 sacks, 17 to Quinn and 15 to Hayes. Immense amount of tackle for losses. My biggest issue on my line, I run a 3-4 consistently, is I'm losing Brockers, and I think I'm losing Thomas. I mean, I've never seen Thomas play once. I run a lot of nickel, and for that reason, I never see my defensive tackles. That was a big reason in trading away Aaron Donald to the Jets and Andy, was just because I literally never saw a defensive tackle. Only on a 3-4 would he come in, and he made plays. Like Brockers was a great player for me as a Ram. But he declined. I offered him what I thought was very fair as a contract, and he declined that pretty quickly. I offered him another contract, and he said no again. He's going to test free agency. I will send him another offer, hoping that maybe I can get him, but we'll see. I mean, he is a young player, and I can see the league offering him quite a bit of money. He's got a good strength. He's over 300 pounds, 6'5", great play recognition. Speed is at 64. Block shed is 91, which is his best attribute. He can fill that hole, and he can really stop those halfback dives. I really speak up of Michael Brockers, and I do want him back, but I think he's going to have a successful season wherever he goes, and he should continue to be a starter. Um, One of these guys is going to step up. I feel like it is going to be easily. I'm pretty sure I re-signed him. He's 25, so still fairly young. He's smaller. He's got 285 pounds, 6'2", so much smaller than Brockers. 81 power moves. See, like Brockers had a 91 block shed, and he's got an 82. So he's got a big season ahead of him. But mind you, I very rarely run my 3-4. I run my 3-4 because I like getting these two linebackers out on the field. I don't run a 3-4 because I want a defensive tackle out. I'm really good at bringing my safeties in when I run the 3-4 and stopping the play with that. Okay, Quinn, fucking love you. Hayes, I don't play that. I don't play this defensive end position a lot, and for that reason, I don't really get to play him very much. The computer always consistently takes care of this guy, and I mean he's got great stats to prove it. So he's gonna continue being a beast. He's old. I didn't notice how old I've never really looked at him, so he's old. Great smile, like $1 million smile. Welcome back to the Thunderbirds, buddy. Quinn, man, I hope this guy can get defensive MVP next year, or end up on Matt's Pro Bowl list or something. This guy was I would give him an A+ for this past season. He was probably the reason I won a lot of my games. He adds that pass rush value that is so important. Makes sacks, makes tackles for losses, gets in the backfield if there's a run to onto the left or into the right. He is a phenomenal player. Cornerbacks, I lost this guy early. I mean, he's got decent everything, Tremaine Johnson, but you know what he can do is he can catch the ball. He gets beat, and he says he's a man-to-man cornerback, but I play consistently zone coverage. Once in a while, I'll run to a man-to-man to change of pace, but he makes a lot of catches in the flats, on the 10-yard back, deep balls. I lost him, I think, in the final weeks of the season to dislocated ankle. He's still out for 3 more weeks. Yeah, he would have missed. He missed the entire postseason. It's too bad. I mean, if I had him, things could have been a little different, but I still got beat hard in our final game. Joyner, Sensible. I mean, the cornerback position in Gaines needs some real big fine tuning. They played above their overall. That might be just because my the way I play defense, but I look forward to having these guys back and getting a CB1. I need a CB1 because I get beat on that deep ball to this side a lot, and that's based on the speed of Joyner, or it was hit. It was either or, 88 speed, 87 speed. They're gonna get beat by that 94 speed receiver a lot of the time, but these guys. These guys right here are the men. Countess, when I started the season, I think he was a 59 overall, and now he is a 75. He's a great free safety. He's 24 years old. That was his rookie season last year. He's got 94 acceleration. He's got great stats, and he plays above his stats. He made a lot of plays for me. I wonder if I could see his stats. Yeah, his stats here. He could have been my rookie of the year as a Ram. 30 assisted tackles, 56 tackles, 4 for loss, 2 interceptions. Maybe I'm just overthinking him. I thought he got way more sacks than that. But he had a good presence. He was very fast, and I'm pretty sure he had a lot of hits that made receivers drop balls. Linebackers, this was my favorite trade of the year. I picked up C.O. Moore, trading Ben Grubbs, who was a left guard. He was around 80 overall. C.O. Moore is 75 overall in my scheme. If you remember playing me when I was the Raiders, he was my entire right side of my defense. I had him playing over here, and he would rush, he would drop back in coverage. Great player. Ogletree, fucking love you. He got so many clutch interceptions. He didn't really start showing up until the end of the season and the postseason. Before that, I think I was just still trying to figure out how to drop in coverage as a linebacker. And next year, I think he's going to have an even better year. He's a great player. He is in a trade rumor right now, just working a deal with another user, trying to get their first round pick. I don't know if I'm really firm on it, just because I know Ogletree he's pretty foundational to my team. Barron, and Bartu, these guys were holes. They were usually, one of them was pass rushing, and they were slow. They both have pretty low speed and pretty low 75 speed. 62 power moves and 75 finesse moves. I need a player with 80 to 90 of finesse or power moves. I just need that extra pressure. That's where I got beat in the final game. Look at this, 52 finesse moves, 69 power moves. He's pretty fast. I don't know why I'm blitzing this guy when I'm looking at his speed now. Maybe if I don't get rid of these players and they continue as a Thunderbird, they're going to have to get their roles changed, or I'm going to have to really focus on upgrading those moves, because we need that pass rush. You can't just rely on Quinn and Hayes, because out of nickel coverage, Quinn and Hayes is playing as defensive tackles, and they just get swallowed up in the field. They get double teamed every single time. That leaves Barron and Bartu alone, and they're not getting that rush. TJ McDonald Jr., absolute G. He's young. He's got great attributes, and he was clutch. He was a playmaker. He's a foundational member of my team. Top players on defense is definitely TJ McDonald, Ogletree, Quinn, and Hayes, and my rookie Countess. Next season, Brockers is likely gone. Cornerbacks gonna need some work. Gonna be using my second or third round draft pick on one of these guys. I know it's a deep cornerback draft, as it always is, and I know all you motherfuckers are gonna be drafting corners. So am I. Offensively, that I got two first round draft picks, and it's going to be used up as a wide receiver or offensive line, maybe even both wide receivers. I really am needing some wide receiver help for Jared Goff. Top players is definitely Gurley and Goff, and that's it. And props to Higbee for showing up at the end of the season. He caught balls that this motherfucker would drop every single time. Okay, that's my team in a nutshell. Let's look at my schedule and just go over what happened. Playoff schedule. Team schedule. Okay. Regular season. Whew, this was a game. I was so surprised I came back and won, or I took this win from the 49ers. I was leading for the most of the game, and I think I had a pretty big lead. It was like 14-0 at half. And they came back in the second half and really surprised me. And it came down to the last possession. I think I forget what happened exactly, but the CPU really they lost that game. I'm pretty sure it wasn't me who lost that game. It was close. Seahawks, I think it was a very close game. I think that I just came back at the end to beat them. Bucks, oh, look at this loss, 24-21. Matt, oh, you son of a bitch. I think his overall record is 3-0 on me, and this was a really fun game. Let's see if we can get, yeah, if you look at the fourth quarter, he held the ball, and I think he kneeled it out and then kicked it at the very end, and it was a back and forth possession. I forget how he ended up getting the ball, but I know that I could have won it with a score or something. Maybe interception or a fumble happened, but he took it, he marched it down, he earned the right to that win in the very end. Good job. Another big loss. I think I had Ty beat at half, and then his team exploded and came back, and there were some big mistakes on my part. I think in this game, on a punt to Gurley went off his helmet. Ty picked it up and scored. Big momentum shift. Ty went and scored again. It was tied or something. I got the ball back. Interception likely. He scored, and then he took it away. Was a fun game. It was a very fun game. Bills. This was close. A lot of very close games. This is when I think I turned my season around. Was here against the Lions with this shutout win. I could win to beat the Giants. I mean, these are just CPUs, but I mean, look at this CPU win right here, 16-13, and then things go on, just get better, 40-3. Oh, this was against Andy. Very tight match. I think lag played a really big part. Or no, lag wasn't really an issue in this game. But there was some Madden sway in my favor for sure. It was raining, and it was a hard-fought game for both sides. I really enjoyed that game. Fuck this fucking game. Okay, maybe that wasn't where I turned it around, but this was just disheartening. I was playing late at night. Nick Stefanowski watched this game. Big loss. Like this was, I mean, it could have put me out of the playoffs. And then I went out of town. I got my buddy to come in and play for me. Fucking idiot, can't play defense. Dave, great ball control. He pinned me down and I couldn't do anything. I think using the 3-4 really held me down in this game. Loss of Donald, not familiar without Donald how to bring my safeties in at the time and not being able to score. He played very well. Props to Dave in this game. Leg was an issue in this game, but I mean, 22-6. I know the leg was blamed, but I mean, hey, it was a good grade. Big win, big closing out win, and then this fucking game. Oh, Ty. This was a really close one. Ty beat me 2-0 in the season, and I was playing as hard as I could in this game, and I'm sure he was too. We both thought this was a playoff game, and we both thought losing this game meant the end of our season. Thankfully, for my friend in the East, Joe, for beating the Eagles in his Week 17 game. Meant the Eagles were out, and this was my in. And me and Ty met in the postseason where I played the Cardinals, and I just lit them up. We started off hot, like I think 14 nothing or something like that, and held them to no touchdowns. Very impressed with my defense in this game. Very impressed with Gurley. If we look at the player stats, Goff went off 250, 3 touchdowns, 132 passer rating, compared to Bridgewater with a 45 and 167 to 290s. I mean, Goff had a game, and it's all because of this man right here. I mean, I don't rush the ball too often. You know how I run a lot of screens, and I love the Chip Kelly offense. But right here is where he shined. 7 receptions. Oh, and Tavon, hello. God, I wish you showed up in that last game. 68 yards, almost identical. TD to Tavon, and then this is his bread and butter is run after the catch. He catches it in the flats, and he can run that ball 10 to 15 yards a time. Very unlikely he gets caught at the behind the line. If he does, I mean, I'll just run it again. Run after the catch average 8.3. Probably might be leading the NFC in run after catch. Okay. Redskins, my long rival meet. I was very happy to see you in the playoffs, and I was very happy with the outcome. Um, Leg was blamed in both this game and the Cardinals game in the beginning of the game, I think, but I didn't experience no lag, and Goff had the similar um, playoff performance as last week. 136 for 2 touchdowns, 0 INTs. I mean, Gurley 50 yards. Jones, we bottled him up. I think this was a big key in our game against the Skins was bottling Jones up. I know he tries to run a lot. Very familiar with his last running back in the previous season. Name doesn't come to me right now, but I know Calvin Winston. I don't think Matt Jones is a Calvin Winston player yet. I think with some years he will be. Depending, I mean, we don't really know how. I don't know. I don't know what his development is like and what his speed is at. But Winston was a beast, and he plays Matt Jones like he plays Winston. And if Matt Jones can develop into the player Winston was, then Washington is going to be very successful moving forward. Jackson got open quite a bit. He did run a lot of hurry up and found Djax open down the field, which has been an issue for me all season. We really need to focus on getting those faster corners and secondary into the zones. Higbee stood up. Look at this year one a rookie tight end going for 78 yards. No touchdowns, but clutch catching. Okay. That's my season, and that's my postseason. I'm a pretty fast speaker, and I'm not sure how long I'm into this right now. And then I wanted to just look at the stats really quickly and show you some individual stats. Who played well? So compared to the NFC, I mean, Goff was maybe a top 15 player. Where the fuck is he? He's not even on the list. Oh my god, he's a top 20 player. This is not good. Well, I mean, in the NFL, right? 3,600 yards passing to 5,600 Christian Hackenberg. Damn. Rushing, don't expect Goffy to beat it up here. The only players that really stood out to the rest of the league, I think, were my tackle for losses with Quinn. Yeah, and that's it. Quinn with 18. But QB sacks. Michael Bennett. There's Quinn. And then where is Mr. Damn, there's a lot of sacks out there. That's it. Just my top player compared to the rest of the league is Robert Quinn. I mean, we did have a really great season. That's the Rams, and now the Thunderbirds. moving forward. And this is my first video stream. Congratulations to Stefanski for beating me in the conference championships, and to either Nick or Dave. Just because Stefanski is NFC, I'm going to be rooting for you. Um, Looking forward to that really good game, and really looking forward to next season and what these Thunderbirds are going to look like. Like I said, just a quick rundown. We're going to be improving our wide receiver position. These two are likely going to stay. I need to find an offensive lineman in the free agency is likely where it's going to come from, and I'm going to spend the big bucks to get him. Higby is going to move up. If I don't draft that tight end one, then I think I can rely on him. He is a great tight end. Tavon is going to be moving to the slot, and he's going to do some really good things from there. Defensively, these guys, Barron and Bartu, holy shit, we need a Von Miller right there. Ty, I'm looking at you. I know you fucking traded all your draft picks, so how about a number one for Vaughn? Countess and McDonald are going to stay G's up in the north, and then the cornerback positions, whew, they better improve. And I think that's it. Thank you for listening, and I'm going to and post it pretty soon here. It is Monday, October the 24th at 1 p.m. Pacific time. I love you guys. You guys are my best friends. Peace out from Vancouver.